Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Lazlow the MST Guy, and welcome to the show. As you can see, Simon is fully functioning again, and he has his new voice modulator installed. Say hello to the internet, Simon.
Hello, internet. How are you doing?
Sorry about the whole, killing you thing last week. It was kind of an accident.
No problem. I needed the rest.
Today we're going to be looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, KTMA number 13, SST Death Flight. First off, wow, what an amazingly fun movie. This 1977 made-for-TV movie has just an amazing cast. First off, Robert Reed, better known as Mike Brady from The Brady Bunch, Burgess Meredith from the 60s Batman, the Rocky movies, and for us nerds, he was Globulus in G.I. Joe the movie. Tina Louise, Ginger from Gilligan's Island, Burt Convey of Win, Lose, or Draw fame, Captain Adama himself, Lorne Greene, Q from Star Trek, John Delancey, Peter Graves, Regis Philbin, and a very young Billy Crystal. Thankfully, Trace is back this week, so we're running on all three cylinders again. The episode starts out with Dr. Earhart and Dr. Forrester in their control room discussing Dr. Forrester's trip to Vegas. It's nice to see them keep some continuity from the previous episode.
Listen, Clay, I'm your friend. More than that, I'm your partner. And more than that, I'm your doctor. And if you don't tell me, time for the physical.
You're right, Larry. I don't know how I can keep this from you. Look in the briefcase.
Oh, my God!
Sacks and sacks of money.
We get movie signed, and we head into the movie.
The movie begins with Robert, don't call me Mike Brady, Reed, at the controls of his new supersonic jet.
Standing by to ignite afterburners. All right, let's take her through Mach 1.
Guys, let's go.
This is Captain Walsh.
Now, this is just a test flight without any passengers, but we are introduced to Tina Louise and Billy Crystal.
Number 1 appears we will be penetrating.
Hey, isn't that
the sound
Ginger?
area.
It's TV's Billy Crystal.
We'll observe no
Tina
unusual
Louise.
vibration or sound within the aircraft.
Hey, Mike Brady. Is flying at the speed of sound dangerous?
That in exceeding the speed of sound, there is no safety hazard whatsoever.
And no smoking.
With the test flight over, we cut over to the airport where we're introduced to the rest of the cast. In typical disaster movie fashion, we learn everybody's backstory while the opening credits roll.
Well, you want me to tell him that we're dead broke? A network crumb would love that.
Tell him nothing, but you'll be back in your own way, in your own good time.
Yeah, at only 9 minutes into the episode, we're given the basic plot of the movie.
After much controversy and many delays, approval has been granted for an experimental flight from New York to Paris, seeking a world record flight time of 2 hours and 40 minutes, faster than any commercial airliner has ever traveled.
Ladies and gentlemen, your bad guy for the film, complete with his own haunting bad guy theme.
Yeah. Put him in.
Nice
I didn't know he was a priest.
In addition to the passengers, a doctor needs to get a biological culture on the plane so he can get it to Paris.
Sir, I just got a call from a Dr. Thurman of the World Health Organization, and he would like to get a culture, I think, to the Pasteur Institute in Paris as fast as possible.
Okay, looks like the plot is set.
The rubber's oozing, but that's about it.
$250 million later, what else is new? Baby's wet and hydraulic seals leak.
If they just had his oscillation overthruster, they probably wouldn't have had any problems on the flight.
Welcome aboard, Governor.
Well, thank
The
you.
passengers begin to board.
Anything going to Paris is already a success.
Have a wonderful trip. Hello, Miss Hayes. Welcome aboard.
Hi, you're in the part of the plane that falls off.
But don't forget that biological culture.
I'm confused.
Oh, good. There'll be a virus getting loose.
Everyone's aboard, so let's get this death flight off the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a great deal of pleasure that Cutlass Aircraft welcomes you
Automatic
aboard
pilot.
Maiden One for its inaugural flight to Paris.
Hey Simon, you know,
No crosstalk during departure.
that Mike Brady's kind of an asshole.
Planes wobble.
So with the hydraulics leaking, we get our first sign that something may be wrong with the plane. Hey Simon, this movie's called SST Death Flight. Do you know what SST stands for?
Isn't SST an independent record company?
Well, yeah, it is, but I don't think that's what they had in mind when they named this movie.
Oh, well then, what does it mean?
Welcome back to another exciting edition of Learning with Lazlow. Supersonic Transport, or SST, was developed in the early 60s, and the plane started flying in the late 60s. One of the more famous SSTs, the Concorde, remained in service until 2003 when the fleet was retired. The plane was capable of flying at speeds of Mach 2, or 1,350 miles per hour, which is twice the speed of sound. That's pretty impressive. So with the popularity of this new form of air travel, it was only a matter of time before someone made a disaster movie featuring the plane. Anyway, that's it for this edition of Learning with Lazlow. We'll see you next time. The next several minutes are spent padding out the characters as we learn more of their backstories, like this guy.
You got O.J.
I
Simpson?
think maybe all those Sunday afternoons added up to something.
Is that Suzanne
The
Summers in
rumor
the
mill
seat
has
behind
it
them?
that you may be due some congratulations. From what I read, Barcrest Estates means to be the biggest thing in Arizona.
It's nothing definite. It's not said yet.
Barcrest Estates? I live in Arizona and have some working knowledge of land development in the Phoenix area. I've never heard of Barcrest Estates. The flight engineer finally notices that the hydraulics are having an issue.
I thought it was completely computerized.
Those look like oven knobs.
Meanwhile, Q and his fiancée are getting better acquainted with Peter Graves.
Well, the deal isn't quite nailed down yet, but I'm working on it. Sales is my line. And if I can't close in Paris, then I don't deserve it.
Down below in the belly of the plane, Mr. Brady makes a decision that just may doom the plane.
You start drying this stuff up, this plane stays up. You got it?
Thankfully, the captain isn't a complete tool and radios back to Lauren Green to get some help.
It could be a pump when he got too much pressure. When you get to Paris, replace the entire hydraulic assembly, including the backup unit.
Burgess Meredith notices that something is wrong with the plane and heads up to the cockpit to investigate. Meanwhile, in the cockpit, our bad guy comes clean with the flight crew.
I'm telling you, it's detergent.
Do the biz
Beginning to
test.
believe him, Captain.
You've got to believe me. I know. How do you know?
We better
I know
get out of
because,
here. Because I did it!
I made it there.
And things go from bad to worse.
So how do we fly this thing?
We don't. We're as good as dead. Why didn't you turn back? You've killed us all.
You're the dickweed that put the corrosive detergent in the hydraulic lines. And on that note, it's time for a host break.
All right, this next setting, Servo, is going to be the equivalent of watching an hour of Arsenio Hall with guests Brooke Shields, Jackie Collins, and a curator from the Milwaukee Zoo. Go ahead.
Talk.
Oh, golly.
Some of the crew head down below to check on the hydraulics when our saboteur confesses to Burgess Meredith why he did what he did.
Why didn't you promote me, huh? I was supposed to be production supervisor. None of this would have happened. I was entitled. Shut up!
The captain asks some of the passengers to move to the back of the plane to help level it out. This does not sit well with Q, and he has some very choice words with Billy Crystal.
Sir, please return to your seat.
Look, get this straight. I'm going up there.
No, sir, you're not.
Tell me what to do, you pansy.
I've been called that before.
Yeah, and what do you do about it?
Try to ignore it. And if that fails, a knee to the groin usually works. You're not coming forward.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Lauren Green and his ground crew develop a plan on how to fix the hydraulics.
We found a way to bypass the hydraulic system and move the control surfaces electrically.
God love you.
Send a couple of men below with heavy-duty wire and connecting clips. Tell them to plug in. Eddie will direct them from here.
Two of the flight crew head into the belly of the plane to fix the hydraulics when the unthinkable happens.
What do you mean, unthinkable? This is a disaster movie.
That's a good point, Simon.
Second one down. Just be very careful.
Be careful, that's a bigger commercial. Be careful.
So the plane loses cabin pressure. Everybody runs around for a few minutes, putting on oxygen masks.
This is Captain Walsh. We've reduced our altitude to 10,000 feet. You can breathe now without oxygen.
Welcome back to Learning with Lazlow. Don't listen to Mike Brady. You do need oxygen to breathe. We'll see you next time.
Well, now you know. I have a great voice. I can sing, too. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You know, I'm really amazed. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, my God. For being my creator, you sure are gullible. I was throwing my voice. Did you see my lips move?
No, you don't really have lips, but I think I know what you mean.
So they devise a plan to route the drinking water into the hydraulics, which will give them just enough time to land the plane. But of course, it won't be that easy. The biological culture that the doctor brought aboard has ruptured, and everybody's now starting to get sick.
That virus is racing through this plane right now.
Oh, we're lucky it's just a flu, Doc.
I'm afraid you don't understand. Flu is a lump word to cover everything from a 24-hour stomach upset to the Hong Kong or swine variety.
Since the plane is contaminated, they have to tell the tower.
Maiden wanted to go. Request emergency quarantine. We are carrying contagious biological material.
They're denied permission to land in France due to the short notice to get a quarantine facility prepared, when suddenly they have a revelation.
There has to be a way to isolate this thing.
It's already isolated. Up here with us.
The captain addresses the passengers.
This is the captain again. We are unable to land in Paris as scheduled. We'll inform you as soon as we're cleared by an alternate airport. I anticipate no problems. There's no cause for alarm. Thank you.
And we're also out of coffee. We're gonna die! They're given permission to land in London, but since they're dealing with the Senegal flu, they decide to fly to Senegal. And we take another break for host segment.
Daylight come and me wanna go home. Sing Bruce Walter and Mark Anderson of Richfield. Hey, come Mr. Tellyman, telly me banana. Sing Mark Utari of Zimmerman. Me wanna go home. Day-oh. Me said day, me said day, me said day, me said day-oh.
On their approach to Senegal, Willie decides to head down into the belly of the plane to fix the hydraulics so they can land the plane.
He's paid to fly. I'm the legendary type who built this plane. Let's all stick to what we know. Willie?
She's a great machine.
Looks like they're going to come up a little short.
May, prepare passengers for a possible emergency landing.
Oh my God.
They crash. Willie dies.
You tell him.
I'll tell him.
They gotta protect.
Protect? Oh, no.
I don't think he'd want it now.
My legend.
Is what?
Peter Graves dies.
Where's the champ?
Sleeping.
Pretty much everyone else lives, even Mr. Brady. And with that, we head out of the theater for Joel and the Bot's final words.
For the Mystery Science Theater fan club, we really appreciate it.
Joel, read the ones from the babes, the female call.
Okay, Cam-Bot, put that one up on the screen. Go ahead, Servo.
Oh, howdy, fellas. All of us girls absolutely die for you. When 6 p.m. Sunday rolls around, we drop everything to watch your show. Mystery Science Theater is choice entertainment, and it goes on to say Servo is the most incredible creation ever made, and we want him badly.
What a great episode and movie. As I mentioned in my last episode, a number of these KTMA movies were repeated during Season 3. I really wish they would have redone this one. The movie, it just has everything. A great cast, cheesy special effects, a cheesy storyline. As it is though, I really like this episode. The riffing in the theater segments were really strong. If you haven't seen SST Death Flight, I would highly recommend you check it out. In my next episode, I'll be looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, KTMA number 14, Mighty Jack. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at lazlowmstguy@gmail.com or head over to lateoffproductions.com and check out Zombie Chick reviews or some of our other projects. So until next time, I'm Lazlow, the MST Guy, and I'm your host for all things Mystery Science Theater 3000. Wave goodbye, Simon. Actually, say goodbye, Simon.
Bye. See you next time.
See you, everybody.